Hey everyone, this is Ron with BridgeCom Systems. Welcome to another episode of BCU Live, where we talk about all things related to anything at BridgeCom, particularly radios. Right now we've been doing a deep dive into DMR. We are having a great time learning more about DMR, the networks that you can connect this radio to, the hotspots, repeaters, all that good stuff. And I'm glad you're here. My call sign is KC0QVT, that's Kilo Charlie 0 Quebec Victor Tango. I've been licensed since 2003. I got the tech license back then. Recently upgraded to extra. But yeah, we're coming to you live from the downtown Smithville, Missouri, where the offices are located. We are freezing our butts off here in Missouri right now. It is cold. I don't know if you... I was on the air well, actually, yesterday I was on the air with some guys. One guy was in Alabama, another guy was in Florida, and they're enjoying walking around, enjoying nice warm weather. So made me want to re-examine my head, wondering why we're here in Missouri. But it is cold. Anyway, I want to do some shout-outs. Dave Nudie in Cleveland, Ohio is with us this morning. Good to see you again, Dave. James Carroll's here. Jeff Duvall's in Ohio. Got some folks from Europe, a guy from Austria, Carlsbad, California. Nice to see you again, Aiden. Matt Engebretson, hopefully I pronounced that right. Minneapolis, yeah, you're hurting, Paul. You're crazier than we are. Let's see. Anyway, you guys, there's a lot of folks coming from all over the place. We're glad you're here. I want to invite you, if you're on YouTube or if you're just coming in, subscribe to our channel. Well, we do appreciate it. And hit the notification bell so that you can be alerted when we do go live. I got a guy here in Overland Park, Kansas, Steve Rogers. Potomac, Maryland, Kilo Charlie 3, Echo Golf Echo, Charles is here. Homestead, Florida. Fireball Zip is his name. Holy Damon, I think that's how you say it. Cold here in Arkansas, ice all over the road. Yeah, it's messed up right now, Dave. We are in the Arctic has come to Missouri and part of the, well, actually most of the country. So anyway, before we get started, I like to do a quick announcement. We're doing one of the biggest giveaways that we've ever done. We call it the Ultimate Ham Radio Giveaway, and this is taking place on February 14th. And we are giving away an Anytone 578 tri-band mobile radio, an Anytone 878 Plus radio, the SkyBridge dual band digital hotspot, and the radios will have the USA and international super code plug for both radios. So they'll be plug and play for both radios. And you also get the BridgeCom University subscription as part of that for the radio and the hotspot. And even to knock it even further out of the park, we are throwing in a Xiegu G90 HF receiver and several accessories for the radios. And it's all shipped to you for free. The value of all this stuff is $2,529.88. And I want you guys to enter this giveaway. We do give this away. We have the stuff, and I want somebody to win that. And if you can go back and look at previous winners to see what's going on our support page. But yeah, that's a nice giveaway, especially throwing in that HF rig. And this basically, you'll have no excuse to become the awesomest ham in the world if you get this stuff. And we're going to help you succeed. All right. So anyway, let's get after it. Folks, you guys can do it. I'm here to help you do it. I want you guys successful. I want you guys to win. I want you guys to maintain a great attitude and believe that you can do a lot of things with this radio. Yeah, we're all getting introduced to a lot of new technology, and it is kind of overwhelming, but let's just realize we have the skill set. We've got we got all kinds of friends. We have so much stuff at our fingertips that there's no excuse for why we can't succeed. And that is one of the reasons why we do these live streams, is because I do want you successful. It's part of what we're doing here at BridgeCom. We want our customers successful. We want you as an amateur radio operator successful, and not just radios, but in general in just life. We want you successful in life. And looking at problems and coming up with solutions. I mean, that's what we're about. And you know, our business here is growing because of your support. We're tackling all kinds of different problems, and we have an attitude of success. Success is our duty, and we want you successful as well. Well, as part of that, today I'm going to talk to you about DMR Plus. And I'm going to do an introduction to DMR Plus, and hopefully I'm going to set up a hotspot and a radio to make some QSOs on DMR Plus. Now, what is DMR Plus? I've got some show notes here, and there should be a link to the show notes. There should be a PDF. Hopefully we can get that PDF put there. Okay, but anyway, I've got this the show notes here, and I'm going to be referencing these. Aiden says that there's an access denied, not able to get those show notes, but there should be a PDF available. So I've got Tanner is over there kind of running the chat, and hopefully he'll get those to you guys. But anyway, so let's talk about what's going on in the world here with these networks, because DMR Plus is basically another network. Okay, he put a link to the drive. Hopefully that allows for you to look at those notes, because I'm going to be referencing these all the while here. Okay, so a lot of you guys, well, we've been, one of the biggest networks that's available to all of us is amateur radios, is called Brandmeister. So I'm going to put this right here as Brandmeister. This is a massive network of servers that link DMR Talk Groups together. Okay, and then we've learned here in the last couple weeks that there's another network called TGIF. Okay, and that is similar to Brandmeister in that it's a server that you can connect your repeater or hotspot to, and it will manage the connection of talk groups so that you can talk all over the place. Okay, yeah, the show notes are now available. Okay, cool. And then this other network that we're going to talk about today is called DMR Plus. Okay, so we're going to focus on this one. Okay, and we got Brandmeister, massive network. TGIF, it's getting pretty massive. It's got one server that I'm aware of. They're doing a lot of development in this world right now. They have a Facebook group which you guys can join. Robert, I don't know his call sign out of memory, but he's doing a lot to promote that. And he's very, very helpful on the network. He's always on the radio. And then you've got DMR Plus. Okay. So as indicated here, DMR Plus is a network of servers that manages the connection of repeaters and hotspots. This allows you to place a voice and data calls to various talk groups and or reflectors. You can access DMR Plus network through your local repeater, connected to a DMR Plus server, or use a hotspot. Depending on the server and reflector you choose, you can place calls to other DMR radios and radios operating in different modes. So we're going to focus today on using PiStar to configure your hotspot to DMR Plus, and then we're going to set out to connect the connect the hotspot to a DMR Plus server and connect it to different reflectors. Okay. So following along in the notes, you can use Google to search for websites for the various DMR Plus servers. And one of the examples, and we're going to touch on this today, is this OpenQuad. I'm going to click on this link. Oops, I didn't want to do that. I want to open it up, and let me go back. And then I'm going to right click and open in a new tab so I don't lose my... Okay, you've got, this is a link to what is happening on the IPCS2 QuadNet server. Okay, this is what we're going to connect this hotspot to. So this is like what we might know in Brandmeister and connecting to like 3101, 3102, here in the United States that is, or your other Brandmeister servers that are distributed all over the world. Well, here's one, and it's called the QuadNet, okay? Now, there's also other servers available, and you can go to a website called DMR Mark and also and look at a dashboard of a bunch of these DMR Plus servers that are distributed all over North America. And I'm going to show you a list of these that you can get from the hotspot when we go into our PiStar dashboard. So let's buckle up and start training, and we're going to focus on the server called IPCS2-QuadNet. So we want to, following the notes, we want to log in to our PiStar dashboard, okay? And so I have connected the hotspot to my network, and I'm being told that I am on 192.168.1.71, and I think I've been on this address before, but I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, so I was here before, so I've already got it in my URL locator. All right, so here's the dashboard as I left it from last week's live stream, and if you recall, we were connecting to the QuadNet talk group. Now, QuadNet seems like it's a name thrown around for a few things. There's a server called QuadNet. There's a there's a QuadNet talk group. There's a QuadNet reflector, I think, for the DMR Plus. So when you say QuadNet, you got to be a little bit more specific. So QuadNet looks like a big experimental area where you know, a lot of things are happening, and there's a lot of folks behind it. So let's take a look here. We're at the dashboard, and we want to go to the configuration. You can see we've got D-Star mode enabled and DMR. So let's go over here to the configuration. And again, PiStar is the username, and Raspberry is the password, because I've never changed it. And I don't care about saving it because I don't know where I'm going to be. Okay, and also you can see this alert up top about upgrading PiStar has been released. Click here to upgrade now. I've not done that. I'm not going to do that in this live stream. I'm just going to roll with what I've got. It's been working, but I'll get some more information on that, and I'm just not going to go there now. Anyway, I want to go ahead and take off D-Star for now, because I don't want that interrupting me, because when D-Star is enabled, it will connect to a reflector by default when I come out of reset. So I don't want that happening. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that real quick and just get us out of D-Star. And it is restoring. Yep, waiting. It's resetting. Okay. And it's going to come back up. Doesn't take too long. Once that's restored, we'll go down here and show you what's happening. Okay. So let's scroll down to DMR configuration section. You can see D-Star mode's gone. I left all this general configuration the same. You can see that my DMR ID, I'm going to be transmitting on 446.525 in simplex mode. By the way, you can see up there at the top, I'm still in simplex. I'm running MMDVM host. Okay, so down here, we are at the DMR configuration. Okay, so we want DMR master to be a DMR gateway. We're still going to have the Brandmeister master being 3102. Hotspot security still the same, and it's DMR network master enabled, and I'm still connected to TGIF as well. So from a couple live streams ago, I left TGIF as a network on my hotspot so that I can still have it accessible from my radio. It's still there, and I'm going to show you how it's still there. So what we're going to focus on is we're going to set the DMR Plus master from the drop-down menu to DMR Plus. Now you can see it's already there, probably from when I was playing around with this. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to just look at this drop-down menu, and you can see all of these DMR Plus servers. Now, these are very similar to these masters, these Brandmeister masters, okay? So, but these are called DMR Plus IPCS2 servers, okay? And you've got all kinds of these. Now, you can usually take one of these, for example, and you can just, I guess you can just grab one and then maybe go out and do a Google search and see if you can pick one out. So let's just, for fun, and this isn't on the notes, but let's just actually do this. Let's look at let's be friendly with Canada. So let's take DMR Plus IP_IPCS2 dash Canada. Okay, so I'm going to, just for fun, I'm going to see if there is a IPCS2 website for these folks. Whoops. Let's just see if Canada's got one. Okay, maybe that's it right there. Let's see if this is it. Yeah. Okay, I suspect that's what this is. Or maybe not. Let's see. They call themselves IPCS2 CAN Turbo. Okay. I don't know if that is... I don't know if that's this one or not. Oh no, wait, there it is right there. Okay, it's CAN Turbo. So there is their website. So you can actually, when you connect, if you could decide to connect to their server, this is where you're going to go see yourself connected. So that's what you can do. You can take a look at those servers that are listed there and then use that to go do a Google search, and then they'll give you the website so that you can go and see what's going on that server. So that's a quick way to go and do that. And then you, of course, can see all the activity on the server. And so it looks like each one of these DMR Plus servers has a website. And we're going to get into that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually connect to the DMR Plus master, or IPCS2 QuadNet master. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there, okay? And I am going to fill in this options field with and I'm going to simply cut and paste what I have here in the show notes. I'm not going to get too deep into this because this just gets me started, okay? What this means, and I wrote some notes here, this means this is going to, when I paste this in here, it's going to start up on reflector 4541. It's going to set the relink time to 15 minutes, I believe, and then the user link is set to 1, and that means it's going to allow for me to steer with my radio, my hotspot, to various reflectors going through the QuadNet server for IPSC. And by the way, IPSC, I think, stands for IP Site Connect. Okay, if I had to take a guess. Now, adding the 2 to it, I'm not certain what that means. Okay, so I'm going to cut and paste that and put a Control V there. And then here's what you really need to get done. You need to set DMR Plus enable to be on. Okay, now I've got so I'm going to go ahead and apply these changes, but let me back up real quick and go back to the show notes. Okay, I have here a couple of links. You can go to this github.com link, MMDVM host. It's a pretty lengthy web address, but this will explain the various parameters in the options settings and what you want to do. And then also on PiStar website, here's a list of all the DMR reflectors available that at least up to date to today. And I'm going to open that up in a new tab here real quick. And you can see all these DMR Plus reflectors and their numbers, okay? Now, I don't even have an eraser. Okay, I can work with it. Okay, so DMR Plus is a bunch of servers, okay? Okay, and we're going to extrapolate that out to the IPSC2, I need another, I'll go with blue, IPCS QuadNet. We're gonna connect our hotspot to this. Okay. Now, from this server is managing, I believe, a bunch of these reflectors that, and one of them is called QuadNet, which is a talk group. And then you've got, and this is where all this quad, is everything cool?
Yeah, just part of your eraser.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll put that there in case I need it. But anyway, if you look at this reflector list, you can see there's 374 reflectors available on DMR Plus network, okay? So what this thing does is this takes my hotspot and allows for me to go through the QuadNet and talk on these reflectors, which are likened to a talk group, I believe, okay? And so there's one called QuadNet, and then we're going to, I think we're going to try in today's live stream, we're going to go to the, we're going to talk to the Ohio reflector, which is 4608. That's its number, and the QuadNet is. Did I put that on there? No, I didn't put it in there, but I know what it is. It's 8451. Let's see. I got it in my, whoops, got it in my setup screen. Yeah, 4541. I left that out in the notes. Okay, 4541 is this one. Okay. So there's our hotspot. We're going to attach it to this, and then we're going to use this to go over here and go over here, and that's what I'm going to show you. And just keep in mind, folks, I'm just scratching the surface on this stuff. We're all learning together, and I have been just immersing myself in this information. I'm trying to learn as much as I can. I hope you are as well. And I hope this kind of gets the juices flowing so that you guys can see how far this goes. And, you know, one of the things that, you know, it prompted me as I was pouring over all this stuff, I got to thinking like, well, why this? Why this? Why all this? Why all the fragmentation, if you will? Why, you know, we've got DMR, we've got D-Star, we've got Fusion now, we've got, you know, all these different modes, and we've got, you know, various kinds of ways to connect everything together, and it just, you know, kind of, if you look at it from afar, it looks like a big old mess. But, you know, when you think about ham radio, and it's kind of all in the spirit of ham radio, and that you've got this is where it's like a big sandbox. I've often used that analogy where we're experimenting, we're playing around, we're seeing what's possible. I mean, there's no coordinated effort from some corporate entity managing all of this. This is us as hams just, you know, seeing how far we can stretch, you know, and we're looking at stuff. Now, out of all this stuff, there might come some idea. I know that you know, a lot of hams have started some pretty cool companies in the past, you know, so who knows what's going to happen out of this. But a lot of this is just, it's uncoordinated, and we're in this like experimental, just let's see what happens. And so we're in this like we're like a kid in a candy store. So keep that in mind as you play around here. So let's go ahead and let's turn on DMR Plus network so that the hotspot will connect to the QuadNet IPCS2 server. So I'm going to apply these changes, and I'm on page 2 here. I just applied the settings, letter D here. So turn this on. It's now restarting. right. Craig, it's a big hot mess. Yeah, you're right, it is. But it's fun, you know. It's definitely caused a lot of folks to get interested in ham radio. A lot of people coming into the family. Okay, it's restarted, all right, and we look all good to go. And I'm going to go over here to my dashboard, and I'm going to confirm by looking down over here that, okay, a couple of things. Look down over here on the lower left where it says DMR Master. It's going to say that I'm connected to Brandmeister, and that's going to be 3102. I'm also connected, this is the new network, the DMR Plus IPCS2 QuadNet. I'm now connected to that server. So I have attached my hotspot to this, okay? And I'm also on the TGIF network, okay? Or I have those set up as DMR Masters. Now, up here in the gateway activity, it says that my DMR TS2 call sign 4551 came in on Talk Group 8. Now I'm going to get into this, but it looks like DMR Plus has allowed me in and did an announcement to my radio. Now I wasn't set up, I didn't get my radio set up yet, and I'm going to do that now. So anyway, let's go over here real quick to the Open Quad. I'll use my, okay. Here's my IPCS2 QuadNet website. Okay, I should see myself on this list of what says repeaters. And yep, look down here, item number 21, there I am. Okay, and it says that I am now through the, my hotspot's connected to here, and now because on my startup, I connected to this reflector called QuadNet 4541. Okay, and you can see that I defaulted to 4541, and I'm using MMDVM host. Now at the bottom of this page, it's interesting, you can go down here and see that there's 62 hotspots connected to this server, and there's a bit more information down here. You've got interlinks are 14. I'm not certain what that is. I think that might be here at the bottom. You've got 0 C bridges, 0 Motorola, 0 Hytera, 23 MMDVMs, 62 hotspots, okay? Now that's all that's connected to this server. Now, you can go here to this DMR MarkNet server, and you can see what's going on, let's say, for example, here, IPCSS2. This is the Texas server, and so you can scroll down here, I think, and you can see what's happening on it. You should see a scroll bar over here on the right so that you could go down and look at that. This is kind of a, yeah, there it is. There it showed up finally. Okay, so you can use the scroll bar here, and you can look and see what's going on it, okay? And it looks like, and it's hard to tell, you got 11 hotspots connected to it, looks like. Illinois, it's a big one. It's got, well, it looks like 42 hotspots. One down here is a big one, is New York. New York always has a lot of connections. It's got, I think that's 72 hotspots. It's got a C bridge, some Motorola repeaters, some Hytera, no Hyteras. Anyway, just to show you what's going on, and you can see all the folks that are connected in various ways. And so let's go back and look at the QuadNet, okay, because this is where we're connected. Again, this hotspot connected to here, which then linked me by default to the startup reflector of 4541, which is the QuadNet Talk Group, or QuadNet reflector. Okay, so now I want to go in and start playing around with my radio, because I want to set it up so that I can start having fun here. OSU Woody, yeah, DMR requires a special radio. Yes, it does. You need a DMR radio, and we're using one here. We're using the 878 Plus. It's by Anytone, okay? And I'm going to shrink this and go over here, and I'm going to open my CPS. I'm going to run as administrator. Yep. And we're going to read the radio. you can go here to one of these hot buttons, read from radio. Click OK. Hopefully, I didn't check the COM port. Yep, it's still good. I think it's COM 3, so it's good. So this is how I left it. And if you look down here, I set up 2 channels to talk on the quad net for going through Brandmeister. The quad net talk group on Brandmeister through the hotspot and through a local repeater. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create talk groups for DMR Plus to talk through the quad net server to the quad net talk group or reflector. If it doesn't make sense, just stay with me. I'm still, getting my mind wrapped around all this stuff as well. So, yeah, stay the course. Okay, so a key point is DMR Plus with PiStar uses talk group 8. Okay, but we have to steer the hotspot to go to the various reflectors using the IPS2 server. So what we want to do is we want to create some talk groups for DMR Plus. Okay, so we want to create a private call for 3 different talk groups. Actually, we're going to do 4 because I'm going to set up 45, 41 because we might want to go back to that, and I'm going to quickly do that. So let's go over here and just follow along with me as best you can. We're going to go to this contact talk groups because we're going to add some talk groups, okay? And I'm going to start at 14 to create some separation from the previous talk groups. They don't have to be all right next to each other. The software will go in there and flush them out. Okay, so I want to create a private call. You always have to have a disconnect because we want to disconnect from a reflector so we can kind of be in limbo until we connect it to another reflector. So let's create a talk group. Let's call it DMR Plus disconnect. Okay, and this is going to be, got to spell it right. This is going to be a private call. Keep that in mind, private call, because we're talking straight to this thing, okay, which will then talk to the server. So this is going to be 84,000. Okay, you want to proceed, talk group numbers must be preceded with an 8. So remember, 4,000 was always your disconnect for Brandmeister and all the various, but putting an 8 in front of it lets you know that you're trying to use this DMR Plus server. So we want to create that one. Let's create a talk group for the status. Now the status is going to, it's like sending a command down to the hotspot, which will then actuate the server, which says, hey, tell me where I'm at on my radio. Tell me which group I'm connected to, or reflector. So we're going to call this DMR Plus status. And it's a group, it's a private call as well. And this is 85,000. Okay. So there's the second one. Now we're going to create private calls for the Ohio talk group, or Ohio reflector, and the QuadNet reflector. So I'm going to do TGI, or I'm sorry, it's all scrambled up. DMR Plus Ohio. It's a private call. Remember, we're going to use it. We're going to use this to tell the server to connect my hotspot down to here, and it's just you just key it up, and it causes the wheels to spin to get you over there. So that's going to be 84608, 84608. Now the next one we're going to do is a talk group, a DMR Plus for QuadNet, which is, we'll call it QuadNet. This is the talk group. And it's going to be a private call as well. And it's going to be 84541. All right. Now here's where the magic happens. We need now a talk group to talk on. So I'm going to call this DMR Plus Talk. And this is a group call, and its group call number is 8. Okay, everything's going to come in on 8. Now I hope you can wrap your mind around this. It's kind of confusing because if you've came from the Brandmeister world, you know that the talk group number, that is where you go. But having one talk group number to talk to everything, you got to remember it's like let's see if I can. As far as you talk and you're going to come in on 8 from your radio, I should say, your radio is going to come in and talk to the hotspot on 8. Then there's some translation stuff that goes on here, and then that routes that tells the QuadNet to do its magic and then connect you to the various things. But as far as you're concerned, your radio is always using talk group 8, but you use these other private calls to steer the hotspot on the server. So you have to have this 8 talk group. And that's kind of where the confusion can happen, and I get that. It can be confusing, but you got to remember you're trying to use your radio to manage how you want to go to these various reflectors. Whereas with Brandmeister, you just steered your you didn't have to have this intermediary step. You could just have a whole list of talk groups. So that's what's going on here. So we've got our talk groups listed, and now we want to create channels. Okay. Now keep in mind you can create a bunch of where is it? Well, I had that PiStar link back here that you can go to these reflectors and you can see all the ones that you could possibly create. Just go in there quickly. And this is where I'm getting those numbers like 4541, 4608. That's where I got these numbers. So that's where you can go in and connect your server to any one of these. And you can see there's a bunch of them from different countries. A lot of them, they note they're in English. The states, this is down here, I've got the various states in here. You can see those probably mimic the Brandmeister talk groups. Okay. So now we've got that. Let me tab over here, and I'm going to go ahead and create channels. And again, I'm on my hotspot, so I'm going to go ahead and copy the 446525 talk group, or channel rather. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to create 4 channels. Okay. And then I'm going to edit them for those talk groups. I think I created, let me just make double sure. Oh, I'm going to create 5 channels. Okay, so let's create the first one and just keep it in sync with our listing. So we know, wait, let me just make sure whoops. We're going to do a disconnect, status, Ohio, QuadNet, and talk. So let's just create those channels real quick. So this is going to be, let's just say, disconnect. I'll put a DMR Plus in front of it so I can know when I put it in the zone. Okay, and then okay. So I'm gonna change this to DMR Plus disconnect. There's my talk group. Color code 1, slot 2. All that stuff stays the same. The 446525, it's in simplex mode. Okay, so let's do the next one, which we did DMR status. So we'll call this DMR Plus. And then we'll go over here and set the contact to be status. Whoops. Okay. Set that to OK. The next one is going to be Ohio. So we'll call that one DMR Plus Ohio. We're creating a channel for this. We'll go down here and look. There's Ohio. It's a private call.
Hey Ron, while you're doing channels,
Yep.
Why are some group calls and some of them private?
I don't know. Yeah, hang on. I'm not exactly sure. There's a notation for group and private call. It's the way you talk to the server, okay, in terms of how it's broadcast. I believe a private call is where you're actually just talking to here and it won't go out to the various reflectors. A group call is going to say, hey, I'm broadcasting this to everybody, okay? It tells it's embedded, I believe, in the DMR telegram that gets handshook with the repeater, and it's part of the payload, the data payload, that tells the respective listening repeater or server what to do with this call. A private call is basically that. You don't want it broadcast to everybody. A group call is, hey, broadcast that to everybody. That's my best understanding for that.
Disconnect's always private?
On Brandmeister, it's not, but in this case it is, because I'm telling the server, or in this case, yeah, I'm telling it to disconnect me. I've not done enough experimenting with that, but I've always made the disconnect a private, or on Brandmeister, a group call. Okay, let me I lost my train of thought here. Let's see, I got DMR Ohio, okay. Now I want DMR Plus QuadNet. And that is not QuadNet for Brandmeister. This is the DMR Plus QuadNet. So you need to make sure that's notated. And then, of course, now we need the DMR Talk, DMR Plus Talk group. Now this is the group that once we establish the connection between the hotspot and the QuadNet, and we've told it to connect to the reflector, now we're going to have it, this is going to translate all that, and so that we can talk group 8 to the hotspot, which then sends it to its destination that we've established. So that is called DMR Plus Talk group 8. This is a group call. Okay, now I've set up my 5 channels. And now I want to create a zone. Now keep in mind, folks, I've been doing this now for the last 12 live streams. You should by now get the handle on, creating talk groups, creating channels, then adding them to zones, and then seeing the effect of it. You do this over and over again. I mean, this is how it's done, okay? So I'm just basically following the same steps to, that I've been doing for the last several live streams. So it gets to be a habit after a while, and you just start figuring it out and know that you got to do a zone next. So I'm going to call this the DMR Plus zone, because I don't want it to get confused with the other zones that I've created. And you'll see I have a list of all these available channels that I've created, but I'm only interested in these DMR Plus channels that I just created. So I'm going to add that one. I want the status, I want Ohio, I want QuadNet, and I want my talk channel. So I'm going to click OK. Now I have a DMR Plus zone. Now I've done all this. I've created the channels for the hotspot using the new talk groups, and I've added you want to add good descriptive alpha tags so you don't lose your mind. Then you want to create a zone for DMR Plus, which I just did, and I added the DMR Plus channels to the zone, and we are at the end where we write to the radio and we test. Okay, this is where hopefully it's going to work. So I'm going to write to the radio, and you can go over here, and I think Joe's got me set up now to where we got a radio. You can see what's happening over here. All right, and I want to go ahead and it's booting. Go ahead and disconnect the okay, now I've got my zones. If you see, there's it's defaulting to this KCI zone, which is zone number 1. And if I press the up button, that's going to go to zone number 6, which is the DMR Plus zone. Okay, and there it is right there. Okay. So I'm going to try to jump back and forth with you because there's going to be a lot of what we're doing here. We're going to look at the dashboard on our hotspot because that's where we're going to get the feedback. So I'm going to see if we can get this all. We can look at this all together. Okay. Now it says here that remember when I came out of reset on the PiStar, I defaulted to 4541. Okay, so let's go over here and look at the dashboard, and you're going to see down here I'm now in slot number 22, KC0QVT. That's my DMR ID, and my hotspot is, through all this sausage making we just did, I'm now right there. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and, just for fun, I'm going to go over here to the radio, Joe, and let's take a look at this is where I should be. If I press the PTT button and make effort to talk to my hotspot here, I should be able to unmute and hear a call. So let's go over here to my dashboard, and I'm going to PTT and just announce myself on DMR Plus, because I'm hopefully connected to the quad net, and you should see me come up as Talk Group 8. Okay, somebody's keying. KC0QVT, this is Ron. Anybody copy? And I should see, if I did this right, I should be able to go over here to the open quad. Let me just, says I'm keyed up. That green there. Let me make sure. Well, it says it's unmuting. What's happening here? Let's see. 4541, Talk Group 8, call sign. Okay. Let me do a status real quick. This is what this is. You can do a status, you key it up, and then you go back to talk.
Back to reflector. 4, 5, 4, 1.
Okay, so I am on 4541. That's what the status is about. So I am on 4541, which we know is QuadNet. Let me see, I got too many windows open. So let's go over here to the dash where we are. Okay, so I want to look at the IPC. I got two of these open. I think let's close this. Okay. KC0QVT. Anybody copy? This is Ron, KC0QVT. Okay, you can see that I raised up a bunch of repeaters connected to this thing. And I'm on 4541 on QuadNet. And it looks like it's timing out. Okay, it went away. I'm hoping there's somebody out there that can hear that. cqcq, this is KC0QVT monitoring QuadNet. Anybody copy? You can see there, I'm up there and it connected all these repeaters together. Don't see any activity. Well, I can take the opportunity and I can switch. I can take my radio now and I'll just switch it over to Ohio and seeing if anybody's on that one. This is the challenge. There might not be anybody on QuadNet right now. So, and I would know that because I could see activity taking place. So let me switch and I'll show you how you can steer the hotspot to Ohio. So what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect, okay, and I'm going to just key it up and tell it to disconnect. It's a private call. And that should take me over here. Let's see, is that... Okay, there's my 8400 time slot 2. I think you have to hold it down a couple seconds. And then I should see the reflector. Oops, now I'm going to close that window out too. Okay, there's my IPCS2 dashboard. And it's got my default reflector there. Okay, it must establish that. Okay, so now I'm going to, let's go over here and set it up to Ohio. And then now let's go over here to the talk.
4 6 0 8.
Okay, so now I am on, looks like somebody tried to key up on 4541. So now I'm on the Ohio talk group. So looking at the, I'm sorry, I use the term talk group and reflector synonymously. I'm still wrapping my mind around it, but let me just way of review. What I did was I used my radio, I steered to this the talk DMR Plus Ohio. I told my hotspot through the server to go down to here, okay? And now I want to key back up to my talk group, which is 8, and that should, yeah, I can see somebody's on Ohio. Let me just try and talk real quick and see what's going on. KC0QVT, cqcq, this is Ron. Anybody copy on Ohio? You must. Still some activity going on. And you can see over here, it should be on 4608, and you can see where I'm making these connections. I'm going to close out this here real quick. Well, no, I'm going to leave that open because it might be we can see what's going on. Let me try again. cqcq, this is KC0QVT on Ohio. Why is it saying I'm still on 4541? I should have disconnected from that. In fact, it did say I can find out. I'll go back to status.
Reflector 4 6 0 8.
Okay. So I steered my radio to 4608. And okay, now it's connected. Why did it take 2 times for that? I don't know. I wonder why it took. So now I should be able to call on 4608. This is KC0QVT monitoring Ohio. Anybody copy? Okay, no audio. Dave Nudie said your call sign popped up on QuadNet, but no audio. Okay. I should be going through the... let me look up the configuration. I don't believe there's anything outstanding here that this doesn't... Startup, reflector, user link. I'm changing my... I'm changing things. I mean, my radio is, I don't see anybody, okay. Yeah, this is KC0QVT monitoring Ohio statewide. Anybody copy? Now why? I'm just looking at the, well, there's somebody on. Well, let me go back to QuadNet. I'll do a disconnect here, or just do a status. Okay. I'm being told by the QuadNet server I'm on 4608. That's what this hotspot is connected to. I'm listening. So if I go over here to Talk Group 8 and type in, I'm seeing myself coming up. I'm on the air, 484. There, it finally went through. Wait, did I make? Okay, I'm sorry. I need to go to Talk and do this. Now I'm on Talk Group 8, KC0QVT. Down. Huh. I don't know. Let me steer it. Let me go. Let me disconnect. Okay. That was me. I'm going to get this, guys. I had this working yesterday for sure. Don't know what's going on now. Let me restart things. I don't know if I need to reconnect my. I'm just going to reapply this DMR Plus here. The startup reference is 4541. Let's just see what happens. And first of all, I thank you for your patience. I really appreciate it. I know that you're investing your day with me, and definitely want to show you guys how to be successful. And I am showing you. Let's see. This should go to status. See where we are.
Connect to reflector. 4, 5, 4,
Okay.
1.
All right. So now let's go to Talk. Well, I'm on Talk, so I should be able to hear. Folks, there's somebody right now talking on the QuadNet. Worldwide is being used. Let's key up. Let's go to KC0QVT monitoring QuadNet. What is going on? Something about KC0QVT. Okay, it says 320. Okay, there, see, it's green, but I'm getting this red. It's going red. I don't know what that means. Did I screw something up? Time slot? KD8P, okay, he's on 3. I'm not certain, what's this 320 about? Do I need to be on 320? I wonder if they changed something. I can try and I can add a talk group for 320, but I don't know if that's, I'll try it real quick. But I see that happening, like they're trying to use a contact for 320. So let's do that real quick. Let's just make a 320, see what happens. I don't know. I'm gonna make a group call for 320. I'll just call it DMR Plus 320. I'm not certain what that is. Maybe that's it.
Jeffrey Duvall said he heard you.
Somebody heard me?
Yep.
Oh, well. KC0QVT, anybody copy? This is Ron monitoring QuadNet through DMR Plus.
He says his call sign has showed up on his screen.
Okay, but no audio? It's a group call. Huh. Well, I'm gonna do 320. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I see that. I was thinking I am able to steer the QuadNet server to the reflectors. I confirmed that by going to that status. And if you recall, I went to Ohio, and then I went to the QuadNet Talk Group, and let's just try 320. I may have some outdated information. Okay, so let's add a channel. Let's copy that. I was having a nice visit with a guy down in Alabama yesterday on this thing using Talk Group 8. I don't know why I'm not having one now. Where is that? I just made it 320. Oh, did I screw up and not put it in here? Nah. I don't think I changed the alpha tag. Let me just double check. Yeah, I called it DMR Plus. I need to put 320 in there so I know what I'm talking about. So let's go back up here to channel. Okay, that's all good. Slot 2, add it to the zone. Go to the bottom here, put it in the zone. Go OK. All right, so I am going to program my radio real quick and get it in there. Okay, Jeffrey Duvall says he heard me. So it got through. If he heard me where he's at, then something went right, but I'm not hearing anybody else. Okay, so let's go up here to the QuadNet. Okay, so let's just check a status real quick and just see what reflector I'm on. And then let's go to
reflector 4, 5, 4, 1.
Okay, so I'm on that one. Okay, now I've tried the talk. Okay, that's odd because it came out on Talk Group 8. I would not, if on TMR, I had to go over here. So let's just try this 320. I'm going to find out if this is kind of confusing me as well. KC0QVT. Talk Group 320, and it didn't pop up as I thought it wouldn't. So yeah, I'm not surprised it didn't work. You got to use this Talk Group 8 to get through the thing. KC0QVT monitoring IPCS QuadNet. Let's see what's going on with I might have to punt today. See what's going on the dashboard. Transmitting. It's receiving DMR. I'm transmitting KC0QVT. Okay, somebody's keying up, and that's N4 LLC. I show that my hotspot is connected to 4541. Somebody's now connecting YO2 OCP. I should be unmuting. Why am I not unmuting?
David Nudie hasn't been able to hear you, but Gail Clark said he could hear you, but you couldn't hear him.
Yeah, it's not routing my call. These calls are not going back. I mean, there's something going on here. I don't know. It's not raising my hotspot, and I know my hotspot's connected to the QuadNet. So there it is right there, DMR Plus IPCS2 QuadNet. I see it right here. I'm down here on slot number 23. There's my DMR ID, time slot 1. Apparently this is the translator taking place. I use Talk Group 2, or I'm sorry, Talk Group 8, which I can then check the status of the network. I am on 4541. I'll just confirm that real quick. Hitting that. Now I'm going to go over here to the talk.
Back to reflector.
Talk Group 8.
4, 5, 4, 1.
Okay, I'm connected to 4541, which is QuadNet, the QuadNet reflector. I'll go to talk, KC0QVT, and I got a big old red box. So, what did I do wrong? Anyway, I am open to suggestions from you guys about what's going on here with the QuadNet. I did have QSOs yesterday using all this, and I am doing the same thing that I did yesterday to set this up. And I don't know if this options thing has anything to do with it, but I don't think so. I am seeing startup reflector 4541 relink time. The user link is 1. That's good. That means I can change things. I'm connected. So well, I'm on time. Somebody write, why does it show up under net time slot 1? Anything to do with time slot 1? Okay, all these hotspots, and this is good that you asked this, but hotspots generally are set up on time slot 2. Okay. I don't know. I know in the, if you go to this GitHub, this website talks about these default time slots. I could try this. I could copy all of this. Let me do that. I'll see if they set these time slots. I don't know if that's time slot 1, but it sets up for static talk groups, which we're using time slot 2 on these hotspots. Time slot 1 is another, that's usually reserved for traffic for most of these local repeaters. So, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to go in there and do that real quick. I'm going to go over to Ohio real quick, and let's just see if that's, let's see what's going on. So I'm going to tell the hotspot to send my, my radio over here to this reflector, okay? And I believe I need to do a disconnect real quick. So I'm going to hold that down for a couple seconds, okay? And go over here to Ohio. And then I'm going to go over here to status, or talk.
4, 6, 0, 8.
Okay, so I'm on 4608. One guy says try the Princeton reflector. I'll try it. Why not? Try it. So let's just try Ohio again. This is KC0QVT monitoring Ohio statewide on DMR Plus. Anybody copy? Yeah, 4608. It's good. I'm listening. Let's go over here to, let's hit it up again. It says this green over here says I'm transmitting. I don't see it up here on top though. Okay. There. $45.41 is busy. KC0QVT. Okay, I can try another reflector. Let me try another reflector. I don't know what's going on with QuadNet, but I'll try another reflector. And he says the Princeton reflector. And I shouldn't be able to, that's good that you said that. So let's go down here and find Princeton. Maybe. I got to go look for it. What's it? I don't see it. Is it known by something else? I got Phoenix. Where's Princeton? It's not in the list. I can try another. Let's just try. I'll tell you what. Let's try New York. Let's try that one. I'm going to it's restarting. Stopped. And I should still be able to use the same talk groups. Okay, it's return. And we'll confirm that we connected to the New York. We'll go over here to the dashboard. Yep, IPCS2 New York. So let's go find their page. They probably have a website. So let's do IPSC2 New York. I bet they have a website. Let's see if this is it. Yeah, there it is right there. How about that? All right. So, looks like I got activity. Somebody was talking.
Yeah, it is. It's not minus 20 here. It's plus 20. You know, Fahrenheit, not minus. If you get down to minus, I'd probably move.
There you go.
It's good. We haven't. I don't mind the colder weather if it's not.
That is QuadNet. That is the talk group I was trying to talk on the QuadNet server. So I went to the New York server and it's working. So, because I defaulted to this, and there's obviously a QSO taking place on there right now.
Running into you this morning on the QuadNet array. Is this the first time you've been on?
Yeah.
I don't believe we've talked before.
I don't feel so bad now. I think I know.
It's not the first time I've been on, but
I thought I was losing my mind. I don't know what's going on with the QuadNet server. But I moved to another server, and that's what's going on. They were managing it. So what I did was, and I'm sorry, QuadNet guys, I basically did this. I went to New York. And I can still use this server to go to that reflector or that Ohio. And you can see that there's activity going on.
Trying to do things on the fly, it seems like when everyone's watching, something is bound to go wrong.
Absolutely. He said it perfect. When somebody, yeah, Murphy's Law reared his head.
DMR Plus, all the different modes, watching videos from, I think his name, W1.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll turn that down. I feel better now. I'll be honest. I changed to another server, and I left all that stuff that I showed you guys today. It's golden. It's working. I've got a guy on here coming in on because I default. He's coming in automatically on the QuadNet because the QuadNet talk group or the QuadNet reflector. I steered the hotspot so that when it came out of reset, okay, it went through here. It told this thing to connect my hotspot to here. And that's why I've got audio now flowing back on talk group 8, okay? And I'm certain if things, and you can look on my screen, you can see on the IPCS2 network, you can look at the activity of this server. You can see that there are 73 hotspots, 2 Motorola repeaters, 1 C bridge, yeah, a lot of connections, okay? And my radio's lit up right now.
If you look at IPSC2 QuadNet dashboard and click on the...
And there's guys probably talking about what it is going on here. So anyway, a massive network, okay? I think what's going on, this QuadNet tries to connect everybody together. They talk on all the different modes. So anyway, I don't want to I don't know if I can interrupt this call or tell my hotspot. I'll try and maybe connect it to Ohio real quick and see if I can't get. I don't know if I can override. Let me see if no, I can't interrupt a call that's taking place. Whoops.
I used to have it on New England. Does it make any difference if it's on New England or QuadNet?
I don't know if I can sneak in there.
provisioned in each server. So they set up whichever talk groups they want to allow their users to access. Well, we've done an IPSC2 speaking talk.
Anyway, again, it's a there's no coordinated effort here by it is, you know, you got Brandmeister, TGIF, DMR Plus. It's a big sandbox, and I showed you another area of the sandbox today that you can go play in. I'm certain if I was to key up, I could get into one of these, but my hotspot is connected to the QuadNet reflector out of reset. I could go in and disconnect it so that it could basically be freed up. But we're already at an hour and 20 minutes, and I'm gonna let you guys go for the day. I will. Well, being told maybe answer some questions.
Yeah. Will you review what a reflector is?
Okay. A reflector. A reflector. What is a reflector? I'm going to do what I've recommended you guys do. I'm going to go out to Google and say, what is a reflector? Because I don't want to screw this up. I get confused by all the terminology too. Okay, obviously it's going to be, what is a radio reflector? Or let's talk about, DMR Plus reflector. Maybe there's somebody that's written out something like that. A reflector is kind of like a hub that allows you to communicate with everyone else that is able to connect it to the same reflector. Okay, so that's what this is a hub. And what you've got here is you've got a bunch of people using their various servers, because you could have a radio or a hotspot out here and a guy with a radio here. He's using this server to connect to these reflectors, which are hubs. So now, so what it is effectively like it is kind of like a server too, but it's a hub or a talk group or a room. These are synonymous terms used by the various modes out there. And so what's happening here is this is effectively a hub for everybody that's got their radio wanting to talk on 4541 on DMR Plus. And I want to say it's confusing. Okay, but on DMR Plus, the reflector itself can be bridged to either another talk group, another reflector, or even in another network or digital voice mode. And that's why things get crazy and get confusing, okay? Because this reflector is a place where all these different bridges can be built to use a term. It creates a place where bridges can connect to, and everybody kind of camps in that area. And in this case, it's called QuadNet, and I believe there is a website, and we talked about this last week. It's called OpenQuad. Let's see if that, yeah, QuadNet Network. I think this is where all the craziness happens. So we can look at, they're still talking. Maybe. So we got V. I don't know. I'm still learning too, guys. So I know that this is where you want to go. This is a good website here. This guy explains a lot. I actually was on here a while. DMR Plus, the network that is gaining popularity in the West. Now this was written back in 2019, so you might. I'll put a. I don't know if you guys. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can put the. Yeah, clear as mud. I get that, Craig. Where is that? Did I lose it? Okay. Anyway, this might help you guys. This amateur. Yeah, just type in what is a DMR Plus reflector in your Google and start the journey. Anyway, I'm going to answer some more questions if you guys are still here.
We've had some people confused about the Brandmeister hotspot security password. Do you just want to explain what that is?
Okay, Brandmeister has created effectively a mandate that if you've got your hotspot, you need to go into your self-care page of your Brandmeister network, and I'll pull it up real quick, but you need to set a password or you can't play in the sandbox anymore, or at least the Brandmeister sandbox. Okay, so if you go to brandmeister.network and you want to log in, okay, this is me. All right, then you want to go over here to self-care. Basically, there's a drop-down menu here called self-care. Okay, and wait, let me back up a minute because this here is the alert. Right down here on December 5th, hotspot security password now required when connecting to the USA Brandmeister server. So if you're in the United States, all these dates have happened. So users who already have a password don't need to set or take any action at this time. For a general step-by-step instruction, you may refer to this post. So there's the link on how to do this. But basically what it is you got to set a password in your self-care settings. And I've done this, by the way. So you go to so you want to go down here and enter your new password. Okay, and save that. And then what you do is you go back to your dashboard and then go to your configuration, and that is where you're going to set it right down here for hotspot security. And once that's done, you now can talk. Otherwise, they're not going to let your audio pass through the Brandmeister servers, okay, especially if you're in North America. It's a security issue. This is the way they solved it, and you need to comply with it or you will get nothing. So definitely need a hotspot security password, and you set that up on your self-care account on the Brandmeister network website. Looks like it went quiet here. Hang on, let me disconnect. Okay, I'll disconnect, and I'm going to see real quick if I can erase Ohio. So I'm going to go to Ohio. I'm going to go over here to talk. I should tell me I'm on there. Did I get in? Yep, 46. Okay, so, whoops. I need to go to stat. I need to go to talk. This is KC0QVT monitoring Ohio statewide. Anybody copy? Oops. I'll go to IPCS2 now. Okay, I want to close. See if I get KC0QVT monitoring Ohio statewide. Anybody copy? Yeah, I can see it up there. I know I'm on Ohio because I saw it come up.
Connect to reflector 4608.
Okay. So I'm going to key up, and you're going to see on the page here, KC0QVT monitoring Ohio. See Ohio. I'll disconnect and go to I'll go to QuadNet.
Reflector 4541.
Okay. KC0QVT monitoring QuadNet. Anybody copy?
KC0QVT in for LLC, got a good copy.
All right. Somebody heard me finally. KC0QVT, thank you for the comeback. You made my day. Let's see.
Yeah, KC0QVT in for LLC. Sounding good over here. I've been kind of walking along the process with y'all, trying to get this whole DMR Plus thing set up, and it's working great now that I've got it figured out.
And for LLC, did you figure that out because of this training, or did you just happen to figure it out before all this? I'm curious, this KC0QVT.
Yeah, and for LLC. I've always stuck with Brandmeister and TGIF primarily, and I was like, I saw this live stream, I was like, hey, I ought to just figure it out, see if I can get it to work. But I'm not over here hardly at all, so I just figured out I just clicked on the QuadNet server and clicked change my settings, and it started working. So that's all I had to do to mine, and I'm using Talk Group 320, and it's working well for me.
And for LLC, so are you going through a which server?
I'm coming through the QuadNet. I just set that originally, and some of us could hear you every once in a while, and we heard little quick clicks whenever you were on QuadNet, but didn't hear very much from you. But once you went over to that New York, sounding good and loud and clear. Over here, I got a Anytone 878 Plus with a SkyBridge Plus that I got for Christmas, and I've had the Anytone for about 6-7 months now, and it's done great the whole time for me.
And for LLC, well, thank you for the QSO, my friend. I'll get you a QSL card. But anyway, thanks so much. I'm gonna let you go. KC0QVT clear.
All right, Ron. Good to talk to you, and thanks for coming back to me. And for LLC will be clear.
All right, guys. I'm going to wrap this up today. It's been a long one.
IPSC2 QuadNet, gentlemen, V6DV.
Okay, we've got some more action going. It's cool. Big sandbox. So with that said, we'll wrap up today's live stream. Thank you for attending this training. I want you guys successful. Hang in there. Just as you saw, I persisted. I went and switched things around. I didn't think I was crazy, but you know, anyway, we got it working and we had success. So keep that in mind. Just persist, and you will figure it out. There's a lot of help out there. 7-3, my friends.